I got the better parlay. Argue about the spread, it's a fierce debate. But when it comes to Wildcats, they align their fate. Blitz the bookies where the knowledge reigns. Charlie and Anthony bring the heat like flames. Talking parlays, breaking down the games. Kentucky Wildcats, they beat the same drums.
All right, guys, the Blitz is back. I'm Charlie Winkle here with Anthony Roberts and Josh Onan. It's another episode of the Blitz the Bookie podcast. It is Monday, December the 8th, and the final college football playoff bracket has been revealed. Big talk is Miami in, Notre Dame out, but I think there's some bigger issues that they need to address that would probably solve the problem that we had with the Notre Dame Miami argument and would probably solve some other issues that I think this system has. I'm sure Anthony and Josh have their opinions on that, so we'll get into that, and we'll get into the top games in the NFL since there's no college football this week except Army and Navy. But we're getting down to business time in the NFL. What do we got? Is this week 15 coming up? Mm-hmm. So it's going to be fun this next month to see how the rest of the season plays out and see how everything unfolds. We'll get into everything. Anthony, Josh, how y'all feeling?
Feeling great, man. The college football playoff season is upon us. Great time to argue, great time to debate. We're just 2 weekends away. The teams are going through their preparations, watching, studying. Coaches are at work. Transfer portal's kind of getting going. I say it's a very busy time to be a coach. Our boy Will Stein's pulling double duty, probably putting a team together and calling the plays for the Oregon Ducks. Will Stein's busier than a one-legged man in an ass-kicking contest.
Well, the question is, are you excited or are you depressed? Because we know how it goes about this time. No college football slate on Saturday. Everybody's excited about the playoff, but it does get a little bit depressing when you start thinking about, man, college football is about over. NFL's only got 4 weeks left.
I'm going through it right now.
Exciting and depressing at the same time. Josh, what'd you think about this weekend?
Great games. Again, college football never fails to impress me. I always mention how I love the pageantry of it. You know, the championship games, the crowds were in it. It's just why I like college football. It doesn't seem as corporate as NFL. People care. Small towns. Yeah, we had 2 small schools make the playoff. Whether we like it or not, we'll discuss that later. But yes, like you said, I am sad that the season is coming to an end.
No, don't forget we got the bowl games. If you bet them, you're crazy. But the bowl games, I've learned this. Charlie, we've talked about it. If you think you have an idea what's going to happen in the bowl games, you're crazy. And if you are going to play them, do a lot of research, a lot. Know who's playing, know who cares, know who's on their way out. The bowl games get super weird nowadays.
And it's getting worse and worse every year. I suggest just staying away from them.
Yeah,
except the big ones. And I'm actually looking at the college football slate. I'm seeing a second game. Boise State and Washington. What's the deal with that?
Bowl game?
I don't know.
It's got to be a bowl game.
Yeah.
December 13th. Is that the first bowl game?
Might be.
I was looking up the Army Navy just to see what the spread was, and I saw another game on here. Boise State's playing Washington. So
maybe the Holiday Bowl.
There's another game to bet on.
There you go. But find out who's on their team because they might have some boys leaving. Guys, right?
They giving them a chance to leave. Like we're playing now. Everybody leave.
You are starting to see like coaches, and this is how I would use it if I was one of those teams. Not unless it was a very big bowl, but you're seeing coaches use it for the next year to get a look at those maybe people that have redshirted because these games don't count. It's almost like a interview for next year for the players. So
since we don't have any college games to go over, we haven't really done recaps this year, but let's just do a little recap of this championship weekend before we get into our main talk, the college football playoff selection, what we think about the teams, the rankings, and the system. So Friday night was the first couple games, right?
North Texas and Tulane.
And James Madison, both, right?
Yes. So
without getting into it, we'll wait until later, but with the system that they had going into Friday, James Madison was actually James Madison wasn't in at that point, right? Because they were still waiting on the Duke, Virginia thing. Mm-hmm. But Tulane and North Texas was kind of a win and in deal, right?
Yes. Yeah, one of those teams or both was going to get in.
As long as they were ranked high enough.
Yes.
And somebody else didn't pass them. A lot of people think North Texas got screwed because Tulane was ranked higher than them. And so they say that conference because that would have been so much money to that conference to go to the playoff because they split it all. And so there's some people that believe Tulane gave them the best shot at getting a team. A lot of people think North Texas got some bad calls in that game. I didn't watch the game, so I can't say
It's
it.
34-21. I don't know how much.
I'm
that
with you.
affected
I
it.
didn't watch it.
yeah.
I didn't watch it, but I have heard that. It makes sense. It's one thing to a big school, but you take them small schools and that chunk of money, that's a big deal.
Mhm.
So even if Virginia, which we'll get to the ACC championship game, but if Virginia would have won,
They would have been in.
the winner of Tulane, North Texas was still going to be that
Yes.
next
Yes.
highest rank. So
Yes.
that was a win and in,
Yes.
basically.
Yeah.
Tulane won 34-21. John Summerall got it done. That took one spot on Friday night. Now, James Madison played Friday night as well. They won, cut by a couple touchdowns, 31-14 over Troy. But James Madison wasn't in, but I do think that they kind of had it all figured out.
They knew
That,
their situation.
yeah,
Everybody did.
if Duke was to beat Virginia, James Madison was the likely team next in line to take that spot, which we'll go ahead and jump ahead is what happened.
Mhm.
Because late Saturday night, Duke does beat Virginia in overtime. We didn't think the ACC would let that happen, Anthony.
No, did not.
They did. I actually stopped watching. I thought the game was about to be over. And then I think you texted and said overtime. And I'm like, what? I turned it off. 5 loss. We said 4 loss. They got 5 losses.
But here's an angle for you. There's some people believe that Notre Dame not being in conference finally caught up to them. Of course, I think the resume had a lot to do with it too. But you could argue that Miami needed that to happen. They needed Virginia to get beat because there's people that argue that the reason they got in was because Virginia got beat and there's no way they weren't going to let a team in from the ACC if there was a possibility of putting one in.
Mm-hmm.
So there's that angle. I think it's resume, but there's a lot of people that believe that angle right there. So however you look at it, it's 2 different ways to look at it, but Virginia got beat. It was a decent thing for Miami because there was pressure to put one of the power conferences in. At the end of the day, whether we like it or not, the SEC and the Big Ten hold a lot of power, but I think the ACC still holds a decent little amount of power. The committee and everybody that works for them, they want their jobs next year, and there's a lot of fear that the big conferences might pull away and do their own thing.
So bad look for the ACC. I mean, we talked about it last week. There was a possibility that the ACC might not get their champion in. They didn't. I think it's funny, but it let James Madison in, which I don't like. So that's kind of how it started. Well, it started and ended that way because Duke and Virginia was basically the last game. So that took 2 spots. Saturday, first game of the day, BYU against Texas, rematch in the Big 12 championship, and it didn't look much different than the first time, I don't think.
No, it's basically the same game. BYU hung close early.
They scored first and
Yeah.
went up 7-0, and then they lost 34-7.
Just Texas Tech just did Texas Tech things, forced fumbles, tip passes. That defense is nasty. I've been on them all year. I told y'all, I think my first episode or second episode when we were picking conference winners, I took Texas Tech. They spent the most money in the NIL. They bought their team. They bought their mercenaries,
They
like
spent
Anthony
it the right
says.
way, too.
And they
boy.
did. They spent it the right way. And
Their defense
and
is
now they're the 4
shit.
seed in the playoff. And I like that defense. I think it's feisty. I think they can make a little bit of noise in the playoff.
I think Texas Tech had an awesome season. I've repeated myself a bunch on here. I love watching them play. They are fun to watch play. I don't mind Big 12 football. I've always kind of enjoyed watching it, but I do think that conference is a step below. But we'll see. Texas Tech's very good. So it'll be interesting to see what they'll do.
They've only got that one slip up against Arizona State, and with their quarterback out in that game, it is what it is, and it was one slip up. I think Texas Tech, I think they're legit here. We'll look at the
they're good.
matchups, and we'll talk about what we think about that when we get into our thoughts on the playoffs. But they did earn the 4 seed and a bye. Good for Texas Tech, and it was their first. I think that was their first Big 12 championship ever.
They had.
I want to say it was the first time.
They had some good teams with Kingsbury and your old boy. It used to be he coached with us and down at Mississippi State. He died. Leach. They had some really good teams with them guys down there. So, but yeah.
Somebody double check me. I think it might have been the first time they've ever won the Big 12.
I think you might be right.
Not positive. Look, everything went their way except the first touch. BYU scored first in that game, but after that, it was complete domination, and mainly by the defense. Their offense capitalizes off of what their defense gives them, and really, in a situation like that as an offense, that's what you're supposed to do. They're a defensive team, and the offense has just got to not make mistakes and capitalize off short fields and turnovers, and they seem to be doing that. So I like what Texas Tech's doing. They get the 4 seed. Then we got the SEC championship.
That was their first ever Big 12 championship.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Georgia at Alabama, SEC championship. This was ass whooping. Georgia laid it on Alabama. Alabama looked lost on offense. They looked a mess, to be honest. Completely outcoached, if you ask me. I think it all came down to coaching. I'm really surprised when I was reading up on this game. Did not realize that Kirby Smart's record against Alabama is so bad.
Yeah, it was 3-12 or something. I can't remember what it was.
I couldn't believe it. I'll say it right here. I'm a dumbass because I've been on Georgia, been talking about him since the beginning of the year. I did some bad research the other night. Friday night.
It was good research. It was just bad that you read it. It was just bad that you read it.
No. I went the wrong way on the research because there was stuff that told me to take Georgia and there was stuff that told me to take Alabama. I just leaned on Georgia had been getting shredded kind of through the air. And I based my pick on that. And it just didn't work out. Alabama got their ass kicked.
Did you see their rushing yards? Alabama's?
No.
They had 16 carries for -3 yards.
Yeah.
That's a problem.
Yeah, that's a problem. No rushing, and I'm sure some sacks are included in college,
Mm-hmm.
right? Didn't we talk about this a handful of weeks ago?
I don't know the rule.
But either way, that's not good. And Alabama hasn't been able to rush the ball.
Well, none of their run. It doesn't matter with sacks or anything. Their two running backs, Hill, he had 4 carries for 11 yards, and then Deere had 3 carries for 10 yards.
Their passing game looked like crap too.
That's what happens when you get that much pressure on a quarterback. Mm-hmm. They couldn't stop the blitz. Georgia blitz. That's all Georgia. I mean, I take nothing away from Georgia. Georgia beat them. Alabama's defense actually held up great. I thought they just were dealt a lot of short fields. Georgia's longest drive was 50 yards. Alabama stopped them a lot. They just were put in a lot of bad positions.
Alabama didn't do what Georgia did.
No,
they didn't get any pressure on.
No, they blitzed them all night.
Yeah, they got no pressure on
Gunner. But you got to remember a couple things, and this is my argument: is that running back dude, he's their third string running back. But I didn't know this, but I read it afterwards because I thought the boy was cheating. It looked so bad, but he was just bad at it, and there was actually plenty of articles about it. The boy has a lot of trouble picking up blitzes and blocking schemes. And
who are you talking about? Alabama's running back?
Yeah, that third stringer.
They kept pressure on Ty Simpson all night.
I know, but it could have helped a whole lot if that boy could pick up a block. He was getting ate up, dude.
I'll tell you what else would have helped him. Some good play calling. How about that? Their play calling. Alabama's play calling is. Does DeBoer call the plays?
I think he does. I'll say this. I'm not a DeBoer guy. I'm not a DeBoer guy. I still think Alabama's really good. Alabama was without 2-star defensive linemen. That hurt them get any kind of pressure. Proctor and the other guy, they were without them. That's a big deal. But they're going to be healthy for the playoff. They beat at Georgia game this year, so they're one apiece. That wasn't Alabama. I've won a lot. Alabama's got a lot of big wins this year. They have a good resume. And at the end of the day, that wasn't their game. They couldn't even start their offense. They try to run it early. They try to stick with it a while, and then they abandoned it. And then Georgia blitz.
Their offense is just passing the ball, though.
Yeah, I agree.
One-dimensional.
But he got out-coached. Jam Miller will be back for the playoff, though. And I think that is a huge deal. Since Jam Miller's been in the lineup, they've been a different team. He's definitely better at picking up the blitz, and Georgia was able to get to him. I like to think if he just had a little bit of time, he could have got to that Georgia secondary because a lot of people have. But Alabama receivers dropped a lot of balls.
Ty Simpson threw that dime to Ryan Williams in the end zone to where the only person that could have caught that ball was Ryan Williams, and hit him right in the midst.
That was a very surprising drop. That was.
I mean, that was a dart that he threw. It was a perfect pass.
There was one where he was getting a lot of pressure, and he threw it up, and it was a hard pass, but it was a beautiful pass to the left of the end zone. Dude, Alabama receivers catch that ball. I'm not saying it was an easy catch, but they catch that ball. They essentially got beat by 2 touchdowns. They went for it on their own 12-yard line. They could have punted it to try to keep the game close.
Right.
I don't take that away from them. At the end of the day, I know it looks like Georgia dominated them, but when you look at the game, they couldn't keep the pressure off. And I would love to have a rematch with Georgia on it. But I do think Georgia's really good. I take nothing away from them. I value Alabama a little bit higher than what other people do.
141 rushing yards to -3.
Oh, no doubt.
That's trouble. You ain't going to win too many of them. And Alabama only turned the ball over once. I mean, it was just that.
They had a punt block, they had the turnover, and then they went forward on their own 10-yard line and didn't get it. That was late in the game. That's 3 of them right there.
Has anybody ever beat Georgia in the history of football with -3 rushing yards? You ain't winning that game against Georgia.
I like being balanced, but if you can't run it, you can't run it. I thought there was a time in the game where Ohio State should have went to just passing. They were running and it wasn't there, just pass it. I feel like they did that last couple of drives and they were having success with it.
Ty Simpson was 19 for 39.
Oh, and having pressure in his face all night long.
Rough.
I take up for the boy. After watching this weekend, I think he's the best quarterback I've seen this year.
You
Even
take
after
up for
watching
him, but you've dogged many of quarterbacks this year that can't take the pressure and ain't good under
but
pressure.
he was getting it bad. Georgia was in his fucking lunch.
You've dogged Carson Beck all year for not being able to perform under pressure, and you're going to sit here and say you'll take up
because
for him?
I think Ty Simpson
19 for 39.
I'm telling you, dude, they were getting crazy pressure on that dude.
So I seen it. I was watching.
I don't think no quarterback can handle that. I would have liked to seen him use his legs more.
I know.
You want to blitz me, dude?
They tried one time in the second quarter. He ran a RPO and got smoked right at the line of scrimmage. You remember that play I'm talking about?
I know what you're talking about.
And I was thinking, you talking about running more. I was thinking, why are they doing that shit, dude? Maybe scrambling and using your
not
feet.
RPO, not RPO.
No, that RPO shit, that was a bad read too, boy. He should have handed that ball off.
He did.
I
thought the same thing. I think that was the only play I saw in the first half.
I think Mendoza does a really good job of it. When he sees a blitz coming from somewhere and he sees a hole, if it's a pass play, he don't even try to pass it. He goes back and he goes right for that spot, dude. If I was a quarterback, that's what I would do. If I know there's going to be an empty spot and I know I got a running ability, being able to run the ball is big. I think we seen it in the Ohio State game. I think that's what they're missing. I've talked about it on this show. Of course, you heard the announcers talk about it, but I've been talking about it for weeks. That's the one thing that I'm worried about with Ohio State is you almost got to be able to scramble as a quarterback a little bit.
Well, speaking of them, are we going into Ohio State now?
Final game of the night. The game that everybody was waiting for, number 1 against number 2, Indiana against Ohio State.
Hell of a game.
13-10 final. Indiana pulls it off. When was the last time they won a Big Ten championship?
I don't know if they have. Have they?
I think it was like in the 40s.
So big win for Indiana. They wanted that. Signetti wanted that win bad. Kind of talked about this last week about did that game matter.
It mattered.
We'll get into this here in a couple minutes, but no, it didn't matter.
It didn't matter in the big scheme of things. But I think them teams want to win the Big Ten title.
It was proven it didn't matter. And I'm willing to bet that Ryan Day didn't even come close to pulling everything out of the bag. I'm not saying he didn't try to win the game. I think he wanted to win the game, and I think he tried to win the game, but I don't think by any means that he showed anybody any tricks. It obviously didn't matter. He only dropped one spot with the loss, and they weren't dropping any more than, to the 4. And he probably knew that they weren't going to drop any more to the 3. I could argue that they should have dropped past Georgia, but we'll get into that in a couple minutes. But look, Indiana came up big, dude. They really did. They held Ohio State to like 60-something yards rushing, which who's done that? When's the last time that somebody's held Ohio State to
under 75?
Yeah, I mean, 60-something yards. That's impressive and only 10 points. So even if Ryan Day did hold back a little bit, I still give Indiana a lot of credit. I'm happy that they won the game, even though I told y'all, I told both of y'all on the record last week to not let me bet on Ohio
I was
State.
on Indiana before I came here, and then I left
and
here
you bet
on
Ohio State.
I bet Ohio State.
You didn't even call us and let us talk you off the bridge.
I told Anthony. He
See,
didn't talk me off.
That's a bad co-host right there.
Because he was
I was on Indiana before I got here, and I left here on Ohio State.
I know. He was on Ohio State. That's why he didn't talk me off of it.
I thought I said on the show, I thought Ohio State was going to win 23-10, 27-13.
No way. I think Indiana's really good.
I do not. I know now. I'll eat my words, but I thought Ohio State
talent on that team, dude.
They do.
They're not a bunch of just like scrub. Everybody acts like he did it with all these. No,
he's got good ball, and he's a good coach. Those kids have bought into his system. They listen and they play for that guy.
Mendoza, listening to him in the post game interview, he sounds like he might be the long lost son of Signetti because he is wild in the interview. That interview was hilarious. If you haven't heard the Mendoza interview right after the game on the field, go check that out.
But Ohio State goes for it on that 4th down, doesn't get it, where they could have took 3. Was that the first half, right?
Yeah.
His knee went down. And I made a comment to you on our little text. That's what I'm talking about, them announcers. He seen that knee go down. I seen that knee go down. The whole world seen it, but they sped through it, and they weren't going to say nothing.
I didn't see it.
I
didn't see it. Maybe I wasn't paying enough attention, but I didn't see it.
He seen it because let me tell you why I know he's seen it. And, of course, I needed Ohio State. I seen it, and I was like, please don't whistle blow. Please don't whistle blow. And then it blew, and right away he knew what it was. But this is what kills me about that is times where they want it to be seen, they'll bring it up right away, and the announcer will talk about it. They'll play it because they know there's people watching it, buzzing the coach or whatever. and they'll bring it up right away. Why do they pick and choose when they want to see it? He's seen that because as soon as they said something, he was right on it. That's that propaganda I talk about. That's that bias I talk about. That's why I don't like listen. I listen to some of the games on the big games just because it's a big game. But that's why I don't like watching it, because there's biases. And then some, now them guys know what they're talking about. That's some of their top announcers.
What biases would they have in that situation?
Well, just whoever they want to win. Just like at the end of all the games the other night.
They can't show no favoritism on that.
I know,
I'm sure that's their number one rule probably is not to show any favoritism.
But they all have them. They all have them. Everybody has a favorite. But at the end of the game, all the games, you heard all the people across the country, Booger McFarland, Bear, they all had their opinion. But it's all based off who they work for. Like, the Big Ten people, oh yeah, we don't think Alabama should get in. Of course, the SEC people, oh, they should get in. You're going to support who pays you. I mean, that's just the way it is. And that's why I don't like. I wish there was people that just call it the way they seen it.
And then the kid misses the 29-yard field goal that could have tied it up.
Yeah.
Did you see the highlights of that kicker before the game?
No.
What he was doing?
Mm-mm.
Like he's on like the back of the end zone, like the out of bounds of the end zone, and he's talking to somebody. He goes, I can hit that pole right there. And he kicks a field goal from the pylon, and he hits the upright. Okay, that's how accurate he can be. But you put the freaking pressure on him, and the dude shanks a 29-yarder.
Remember
that? So they showed that like pregame?
No, it was after the fact. I didn't see that They could have, but I seen it after the fact where he was on the damn, I would call it like the baseline, and he was dead even with the field goal. Yeah, in the corner
pylon.
Yeah, the corner pylon, and hits it straight. And he's like, I can hit that pole, and he hits the pole.
Not under pressure.
That's pretty impressive, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, make a field goal.
Right.
A chip shot.
Make a field goal.
That was a killer, dude, because, Ohio State was really they'd had 2 drives in a row where they went right down there. They kind of, went away from the run a little bit more, start passing a little bit more. I think that's where it hurts not having a mobile quarterback is when you get down the red zone. The announcers talked about it, how Ohio State, that's one of their Achilles heel when they get, in the red zone, they've had a little trouble. I think it's not having a mobile quarterback. When you have a mobile quarterback, even if you don't use him, the defense has to account for him. But when your quarterback's not mobile, you can load up on the run. And if you're going to pass it, we can guard the quick outs and just put a lot of pressure. You're easier to defend in that sense. So.
I don't know if I texted to you guys or not, but during the game, Jeremiah Smith, just throw him the ball every time.
I'm with you.
It's like,
I'm with you.
I mean, it's like, we all grew up playing grade school ball or whatever. And you always had that dude that was just better than everybody else.
I'm with
Why
you.
don't they just,
especially if you're struggling.
Yeah.
Like if there's pressure coming, don't let it get intercepted. I think he can do that.
Yes, I do too. He's that much better.
Yes, I think he's that much bigger.
You put one of those DBs on an island against Jeremiah Smith, he's going to win that 9 out of 10 times.
And even if you don't, just be a smart player. I'm going to throw this up to you. I'm going to give you a shot. If you don't think you can get it, just knock it away. You're tall enough. You're long enough.
Right.
What's the saying? Didn't Will Stein got a saying? Feed the studs or something?
Yeah, well, they should have fed that stud.
Yeah, no shit. Feed your studs. Don't forget, Indiana missed field goal in the second quarter, too. So,
it wasn't a chip shot.
It wasn't long.
It wasn't short, though.
Theirs was Indiana's was
40-something, wasn't it?
38-yarder.
Okay.
38.
I mean, Smith did have 8 catches for 144.
All that look, Indiana,
but one of them was 52 yards.
I think Cignetti just flat out outcoached Ryan Day.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's a handful of coaches that are the best in college football. I think we agree with a lot of them, Charlie. I think Dan Lanning. I think it's Kirby, and I think it's Cignetti.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll be honest with you, I really like Dan Lanning a lot, and I like Kirby a lot. Given equal teams, I'd probably take Cignetti's ass, dude. I might take him over Saban. Just things he does.
Over Saban?
Yeah, I think
You're
would,
crazy.
dude. I think I would.
Nuts.
The guy can coach, dude.
I always liked Saban. And I always thought they just had, a lot of times, Saban just had so much more talent.
But his teams, they were very disciplined. If you messed up, you were held accountable.
That's because you had somebody behind you they could put right back in.
Yeah, but he was like a hard ass, and he demanded excellence. And that's a style. There's different styles of coaching.
Mm-hmm. How many titles has he got?
A bunch.
5, 6.
Yeah. He left when
Cincinnati ain't even close to that.
Yeah, but he left when NIL came. He left because he knew Alabama wasn't going to be able to.
Hell, he even got one at LSU, didn't he?
But I don't blame him.
Smart.
I don't blame him.
He was
Yeah,
smart.
It was smart. I agree.
If he didn't want to deal with it, he's smart for getting out.
I love
It's better than hanging around and trying to extend your career and then looking like shit,
think he knew he wasn't
ending up like
players.
Gabo and trying to buck the system. And he probably made the right move for himself.
I love Saban. I think
I'd love to see him come back.
Probably the best.
I'd love to see him come
I'm going to tell you how much I think of him. I think he's the best that's ever done it. And he's got a lot bigger resume than Cignetti ever wished to have him. But if you just told me from a pure talent standpoint, I'd probably take Cignetti over Saban. But from a resume standpoint, he's got a long ways to go to match Saban's resume. But I'm telling you, dude, things he says, things he does.
You can say and do shit all
yeah, but get his
get
his kids to buy into that. I mean, that's pretty impressive, dude. That's pretty impressive.
Yes, Saban's got 7 titles, 6 with Bama, 1 with LSU.
Yeah.
I think I'm taking Saban.
A little bit of work, to do.
You can take him. I'm telling you. I think from a talent standpoint, that dude is a mastermind, dude. I'm gonna tell you how you got.
Let's not talk talent like Signetti ain't got talent. And I mean, Alabama had talent.
No, I don't know.
Signetti's buying talent.
I don't mean talent in that sense. I mean talent in a coaching sense. I'm gonna tell you how I think you have to attack Signetti. If you watch Indiana, I think they guess a lot, but he guesses right a lot. They're right a lot more than they're wrong, like a whole lot more.
That's part of the game.
Yeah, it is. No, I agree.
That's part of the game. You're guessing. You're guessing in every play call you make, especially defensively. You're taking a guess.
But he gambles a lot, but he always gambles right. It seems like good for him. That's being smart. Okay,
coaching.
But so I think this is how you do
a little bit of luck,
or he's just one step ahead of them. He's in their head. I think he was in Ryan Day's head a lot. 2 things you got to do to be Signetti, and I don't even know if I'm right, but this is how I would play him. You got to pass when you think he's going to run. You got to run when he thinks he's going to pass, because you can't be predictable against Signetti. And I think Dan Lanning's really good at that, actually. And I've watched that replay 5 or 6 times of the Oregon-Indiana game, because that game could happen again. And I love it because our boy Stein's the one that did it to him, or maybe it was Lanning. I don't know. I like the idea of running a hurry up against Indiana, because I think a lot of times that defense is looking to Signetti for like signals of what they're going to do. Run a hurry up. Don't let his ass have a second to look at what you're going to do. And that way they can't be a step ahead of you. Oregon actually did that. They threw a big touchdown on that, like a 50-yarder, and they had another big play. They don't run a hurry up all the time. Will Stein says he does it when he thinks he can get an advantage. And I like the idea, if I played Indiana, to run a hurry up a lot. And that way, Signetti, he can't see what you're doing and then call in a signal or something like that. And I think that's what he's doing. Because them players can't be that smart. They can't be that smart. They're smart, but they can't be that smart.
What do you mean they can't?
They can't. No, dude. They are guessing right a lot, dude.
Trying to run when the other team thinks you're going to pass, try to pass. That's what every football team's doing in every football game.
Okay, but the players ain't able to diagnose that like right all the time. Somebody's diagnosing that on the sideline, dude.
I get that. That's coaching.
Yeah, but that you run a hurry up, you don't give them a chance to do that. They got to
be ready for that too.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, I think with him being able to do such a good job of that, I think they're good. They got a lot. I don't think they have the talent Ohio State's defense does, but I think he's always in the right play, or he seems like he's always in the right play. And I think that's that wizard stuff I talk about with dude. I feel like he's a step ahead of every good coach he plays.
He ain't no Nick Saban, not yet.
No resume, no way.
You can have him. I'll take Nick Saban all day. Okay. Let's match up. Same talent, same exact team, cloned. Give me Nick Saban.
Same team. I'll take Signetti.
You're crazy. All right, let's get into the real talk. Let's talk about what really needs to be talked about. This system that we're dealing with in this college football playoff. It seems like every radio station, everything I've heard the last 2 days is all talking Miami, Notre Dame, Miami, Notre Dame. To me, that's not the story. We wouldn't even be dealing with Miami and Notre Dame argument if we didn't have 2 teams that were taking 2 spots. Why aren't we talking about the real issue? Why is everybody scared to talk about the real issue?
I think everybody's talking about it.
But everybody's just stuck on Notre Dame. Why can't we talk about
that?
But they're not this year.
Yeah.
Not this year.
I do think they'll
But why aren't we talking about the real issue on why we're even having a debate between a Notre Dame and Miami? We wouldn't be having that debate if Tulane and James Madison were not in. Then those teams are already in, and all we're debating on is one team, Vandy, or maybe and Texas. So maybe no, because
I think
one of them gets actually. One of them would get in. So we'd only be talking about like a Texas missing or a Vandy missing. To me, the number one issue is the conference championships and those automatic bids. James Madison and Tulane should not be in this tournament. Can we at least agree on that?
I like having the power. I'm almost on the same page with you. I really am.
But I'm saying I'll let you make your point because I already know what you're going to say, and I agree with you. But this year with these 2 teams, do they deserve to be in this top 12? No. So go ahead and make your point because I do agree with your point. Undefeated in a top 10 or something?
There's got to be a cutoff point. Look, I love having
They can't have
lesser
any
schools to have a
losses.
chance. Yeah, they need
They
to run
have
that.
to be undefeated.
So, one of my big gripes with this whole thing, and I just made a TikTok about it, big wins count for nothing. They count for nothing.
But the James Madison don't have any big wins to have.
I agree. So I'm going to play into it. They count for nothing. Used to be in college basketball, they talk about tier 1 wins. Like they talk about these big wins. Dude, they have not talked about big wins in this, almost none.
No.
Almost none. The big wins got to have some value to them. So my argument, and I'll roll right into that, Texas has one less loss than Notre Dame, but Notre Dame's got one number 18 win. Texas got 3. I thought it was 3 top 13s, 3 top 10s when you look at the final rankings. 3 top 10s, and they lost to Ohio State and Columbus. That resume is stout. Because you lost to Florida. Okay, Florida didn't have a good record, but we all know Florida's talented. I use the analogy with Penn State and Indiana. Same analogy. But all that aside, you get back to Tulane and James Madison. And if you want to let those in there, there's got to be a cutoff point of you got to be a top 15 team. And if you go undefeated, you'll be a top 15 team. I truly
Why
believe.
top 15? You can't be top 15. If you're only letting 12 in, you can't be 15. You got to be top 10.
Top 12.
You got to be top 12.
Yeah.
You can't be ranked 15th and get in.
I think you got to give them.
You got to be undefeated and ranked in the top 12.
And I'm with you. What do y'all say? Top 12? I'm going to say top 15. What do y'all think?
Well,
Top
how
12?
can it be top 15 if you're only letting 12 in?
Well,
Then you're taking somebody's spot.
Sure.
They're taking somebody's spot. They take like Vandy's spot.
It's hard to rank college football teams because everybody plays a different schedule. I'll give them a break on that.
And what sucks too with the college football, they rank them at the beginning of the year before they've even played a
they
game.
gotta stop doing that.
So you start at the top, and then the teams who are at the top can lose more games than the guy who starts at. For example, James Madison or Tulane, it's harder for them to get to the top 12
Look at
because they're
Texas
starting
Tech.
at 40.
Texas Tech was ranked like 24th, and Indiana was ranked like 20th preseason. And look, they're both top 14. They need to get rid of the preseason.
But do you kind of need somewhere to I agree.
No,
and
why?
That's my because if you don't, James Madison don't play nobody goes on. So do you rank them after that? Like when do you ever give them value?
No
rankings
so do you
until
like week 4,
7, week 6. Let's get halfway through the year.
Yeah.
A preseason rank is completely off of last year. You can judge off of what you think's going to happen this year, but they're going off of what happened last year. And with the transfer portal and the turnover in these teams, it's almost impossible to know these teams year by year. So I think a preseason rank is just stupid. They're not going to stop doing that either because it just creates.
Oh, that's good for them.
How long did it take for LSU to fall out of the top 25?
But
we thought they were good after week 1. And Clemson wasn't any good.
And I know it holds up halfway through the season.
Where was LSU and Clemson ranked at the
We
beginning
love
of the
those
year?
teams.
Top 10? Both top 10?
They were good on paper.
And they were awful.
But let me ask you a question. And this is just a question. I don't know. I'm trying to think about this as y'all are saying it. But don't kind of play itself out. Because at some point, the ranking starts catching up to what their body of work is.
It does for most teams. But teams like James Madison or Tulane, it's harder for them to make it that far up.
Yeah, and
the SEC, ACC, Big Ten, those guys figure it out. That they play out themselves.
But I think it should be.
Right.
To me,
but
if you got that schedule, you should be winning 50-0 every game.
But if you wait until halfway through the season, then you can look at half of their schedule as a body of work and say, well, this Tulane team is 6-0 and they're winning every game by 45 points. Maybe we should put them in the top 20 or something. And now they, who knows?
It gives them a fighting chance to move up.
They might have been ranked 67th or 84th, and they might be 5-0 and only moved up to 52nd.
It's hard. The NFL would even be hard but NFL goes by wins and losses. But the NFL and all those teams are kind of close. But it would even be hard, too, to really rank them. But they don't have to do it because they got the conference. But to do that with everybody's schedule so different, I can sit here and talk about they don't count big wins enough. I don't think they do. I haven't heard nobody talk about it, none. That bothers me a lot because as I'm looking at teams, it matters. Everybody wants to say Texas got beat by Florida. If I remember right, that was under a touchdown point spread in that game. That was at the Swamp. Go try that game. Florida's a talented team. They didn't have the best year. That was probably one of their healthier times. A tough game. And you keep playing tough games like that, you're going to get beaten some. Some of these teams don't have to play tough games like that. That's got to count into the equation somewhere. But it don't. I've never seen a time when big wins don't count. I feel like they count in college basketball. I feel like they used to count in the BCS system as bad as it was. They talked about the big wins. They don't even talk about the big wins, Joe. Or maybe a time here or there. But I did not hear them talk about the big wins.
The media is probably not talking about it, but the people in the room making the decisions, I'm sure we're calculating the big wins.
They're not putting enough
along.
value on them because Texas' resume should have been above Notre Dame. There's no doubt in my mind. And people can say I'm wrong. It's one less loss.
But again, you value that
that.
Florida loss way more than probably 80% of the people do. I'm just saying.
Okay, but
I'm
not saying you're wrong. But where does
I know I'm right because I've seen Texas fans, multiple of them on the internet the last few days,
because
saying
because a lot of them don't know college football either. They do the same thing everybody else does. Look at the win-loss record.
If they got a different opinion than you on Florida, they don't know football, I guess.
Okay.
People can look at Florida.
Florida played a lot of teams. They're jumped. They played. We can pull up their resume. They played a lot
I've
of
seen
teams.
The resume.
Really
I've seen
good
them play
teams
a million
hard,
times.
dude.
I've seen them play
They
almost
played
every game.
Oh, Kentucky blew them
I can
out.
still see why it's not a good loss. Like it's not a quality loss.
Yeah,
you
I'm
can
not
think
saying
that Florida,
I'm not
it's
saying
not.
it's a quality
It's a
loss,
bad
but they are
coach,
a
no
talented
coach.
team. I heard Josh Pate this. I'm stealing it from him. I've said it on the show before. He said it's the same thing as you got Penn State played Indiana. Yes, Penn State did not have their year, but you go tell Indiana Penn State's not talented. Go tell them that. They're not.
But they beat them.
Yeah, they did beat them.
Penn State was picked to win the national championship.
I know, but
a little bit different than the Florida team.
But the point I'm making is there's still a lot of talent on that team. They were at home. That's when they were healthy. I'm not saying it's a great loss, but where does the value? Okay, it's one less loss. And then you got a loss to Ohio State, which I think should move that up some if we're gonna start talking all the eye tests in Columbus. So okay, I factor that in my head. But then I got 3 top 10 wins. Three top 10 wins.
Yeah, they shouldn't have lost to Florida, and they'd be in.
If we're sitting here and we're ranking,
they also almost lost to Kentucky too.
I'm not saying almost. We can't. They say eye test don't matter because I've said that about Ohio State. Well, that was the best loss, and they outplayed them. Everybody says coulda, shoulda, woulda. So that's the same analogy there on those.
Would they beat us 10-7 or some shit?
Yeah, but I mean it's the same analogy. If you're not going to take like what happened in games, then that's the same analogy. It's hard on all sides. I'm not saying it's not hard on all sides.
Again, we wouldn't be having any of these conversations if James Madison and Tulane was not in the tournament. But here we are arguing about all the other shit when all we got to do is stop giving out handouts. We take 2 spots away. We got Notre Dame in, and take your pick from Texas or Vandy. And we're only arguing about one team that really has a shot that didn't get in. Instead, we got 3 legit teams. I don't know if all 3 of them can win it all, but I think Notre Dame could. I think Texas could. And I can make an argument that Vandy is hot as hell and can make a run.
They can make a
run.
But
instead, we get a 21-point spread, James Madison at Oregon. How you think that shit's going to go? I'll tell you how it's going to go. It'll probably be a close game because Dan Lanning will be shaving points. He'll be doing what he's done all year with his built-in buys in the Big Ten, and he'll hold back.
He's not going to show.
He should.
He's not going to show Signetti nothing.
Hell no.
If he can get away with it.
They'll win that game by 10 points or 13 points. Oregon won't show shit, but it'll be a waste of your time to watch it because there's a 0% chance. Zero.
Don't jinx them, Charlie. Don't jinx them.
All right, what's the percentage chance that they beat Oregon? Put a percentage on it.
I'll
3 or 4.
What's the percentage?
I'll take this to the NCAA basketball tournament. I'll say a 25% because a 5 always beats a 12.
That ain't happening.
I mean, a 12 always beats a 5.
They ain't got a 0.25
No,
chance
hell no.
to win.
They're not a
game,
horrible
dude.
team,
No,
though. They're not at that level.
Dude, I watched them play against Louisville, and if y'all don't remember that game late in the game, let's go back to our text thread because I was cussing their coach.
We like the coach though.
They were until the end of that game when I was questioning what was going on, why they were just running the same. Remember, they were just running their quarterback straight ahead.
Yes.
It was like, just run. Their quarterback, run. They could have beat Louisville that day. Louisville was probably the best team they played all year.
It was.
And they lost. And now they get to go to Oregon.
Let me tell you all this. I'm sitting here looking at the top 25.
You'd had a better chance, real quick, you'd had a better chance with Tulane at Oregon than James Madison.
Oh, there's no doubt. Yeah, I agree with that.
Oregon's favored by 21.5.
Ridiculous.
I think you just look at the top 25. And you can look at every team in the top 25 other than probably North Texas, okay? No other team in the top 25 would Oregon be favored over 20 over. You think they'd be favored over Texas, Utah, USC, Michigan, Virginia, Arizona, Navy, Georgia Tech, and Missouri? You think Oregon would be 20-point favorites over any of those teams?
Maybe a couple there at the end. Who'd you say? Navy?
Navy.
They'd be 20 over Navy.
Yeah, over Navy.
And then North Texas.
And
then Michigan, they're not beating Michigan by 20.
No,
they're not beating USC,
favored.
Utah, BYU. I mean,
they wouldn't be favored
Notre
in
Dame.
any of them games by 20.
They may win by 20, but they wouldn't be favored.
That's how I felt about the Big Ten. Ohio State was double-digit favorites over every Big Ten team they played. Georgia was double-digit favorite over one team. And that goes back to my analogy of, them teams at the bottom of the SEC are good. They're just somebody's got to lose the games.
I think I'd hit the ground.
I think it did.
And I heard your little comment saying he's a bad quarterback. I guess you missed about 3 minutes ago when Justin Herbert threw it right to the Eagles.
Oh, I'm not saying nothing about Justin Herbert.
You didn't say nothing about that.
I'm saying about Jalen Hurts.
I know, but you missed when Justin Herbert threw it right to the other team a minute ago.
I actually didn't see it. I didn't see it.
Well, you did.
Did y'all see what the athletic director said on Dan Patrick today from Notre Dame?
No, but there's some bitches.
He said he does not appreciate the way the ACC, he was mystified by the actions of the conference to attack their biggest business partner in football and a member of their conference in 24 other sports. And he goes, I would tell you, Dan Patrick, I wouldn't be honestly with you if I didn't say that they have certainly done permanent damage to the relationship between the conference and Notre Dame.
Bro, they should kick them out of the fucking conference. Dude, everybody should boycott playing Notre Dame.
Because you know what the ACC was doing? The ACC wanted Miami in. Now, he's pissed at the ACC network, all right, and the ACC social media accounts. The ACC network showed the Miami Notre Dame game on TV this weekend.
I saw that and was wondering why it was on.
And they put it on there so people, more eyeballs watch who wins, watch who loses. And they said a lot of social media was promoting that game, promoting Miami over Notre Dame.
All right, so let's get to Notre Dame real quick. Josh, you've been a big-time Notre Dame hater, and I have never really liked or disliked Notre Dame. But in the last 48 hours, I have built a little bit of a disdain for Notre Dame. I do not like anything that they just did. They're crying. For one, you're not in a conference. I think that's bullshit. For two, your schedule's fucking garbage. The resume sucks. You didn't get in. You got in last year, basically doing the same thing last year. You got in. Now you don't get in. You put yourself in that position. And now they're crying about it, and they opted out of the bowl game like immediately. I think they were going to put them.
They're going to put them
against Utah or BYU.
Their feelings are hurt, and I'm not taking up for them because I agree with everything you're saying. I really do. I have them in a future bet, so I was benefiting them. I actually called this. I made a TikTok about it. Their resume was weak the whole time. If you look at their resume, there was never a day when really they should have got in over Miami. It just wasn't. And I could argue the Texas thing, but with Notre Dame, I think they're upset because.
They're upset because they didn't get in.
Yeah, but I think they also think that, and I kind of think this too. Maybe they might have been the best team in the country.
But they were playing well, but they weren't. And I agree, they were playing good ball.
They might be the best team in the country.
They were playing some of the best
Ohio
ball.
State and Indiana, and they kind of like neither one of them just wowed me. They were good, really good. But dude, Notre Dame,
they ran the ball well.
Play a tougher schedule.
I'm with you.
Play a tougher schedule.
But I still think it would hurt if you thought you were the best team in the country and you didn't get in.
I think they can think they're the best team in the country all they want.
If their schedule went backwards, if they played USC early and then they played Miami and Texas A&M late, maybe their season turns out different. But they played their tough games early, lost, and never had another good enough game on the schedule to make up enough ground to get in the playoff.
I think a lot of teams could say that.
I just talked about it. It's just about moving up and down the line.
Last year at the end of the year, Florida was really hot. They could play with anybody. Beginning of the year, they sucked.
Ole Miss last year.
Yeah. Ole Miss Ole Miss is a team I think could have won it last year. Right. They didn't even make the tournament.
But it's all about when your win or loss was. Yeah. And they happened to take theirs early. They had nothing else on the back end besides USC that was ranked 18th, and they couldn't build enough momentum to get back down in there into the best 12.
They needed Pitt to stay in the top 25.
I'm surprised that you think they're the best team in the country.
I think they could be. They could be.
Their resume sucks, and you straight up said it. They ain't beat nobody.
They passed the eye test.
Well, again,
but I'm with you. It should be about resume, especially when there's a head-to-head.
They need to have a harder schedule, and apparently the rules, I guess, say next year, as long as they're in the top 12, being an independent. Did y'all hear this? That next year, as long as they're in the top 12, they're automatically in Notre Dame.
And I think their schedule's weaker next year.
I have never disliked Notre Dame, but I'm on your side now, Josh. I can't stand them.
Welcome to the train, baby.
Babies. They schedule a weak-ass schedule. They think they're above everybody else and stay out of a conference. They're cowards, dude. Straight up. They're cowards. Now they're crying. Oh, I'm going to take my ball and go home. I'm not going to play in a bowl game. Y'all are some sissies,
Well,
dude. And that's bad for business. And then now what Josh said, who was that you said?
The athletic director of Notre Dame going on Dan Patrick crying.
Just piling on Notre Dame. Grow some balls and play a harder schedule. Or just get in a conference like everybody else.
They're the only team in the country, I said for years, that could survive without when it wasn't about NIL. They were the only team that could be really good without great in-state recruiting. And the reason being is because they got the Catholic draw all over the country.
I don't think their schedule's as weak as
they had some teams down this year.
Well, I think next year's not as weak as I kind of assumed.
They play Miami again.
Yeah, they play Miami.
Other than that, who they got?
They got Wisconsin, Rice, Michigan State, Purdue, North Carolina, Navy, Miami, Boston College, SMU.
Leave them out next year,
Syracuse, Stanford, and then finish up with USC.
How do you think that's not weak?
That
is horrible. What?
Well, you got USC. Let's do it one more time. Who you got?
All right. Wisconsin.
They will probably be better next year. They were getting better at the end of the year.
They'll be better than they were this year, but they were garbage.
They were getting better at the end of the year.
Rice.
Bad.
Michigan State.
Traditionally, they haven't been good here recently, but
okay.
Purdue.
Yeah, I'm with you.
North Carolina.
North Carolina should be getting good, but yeah.
Navy, they're top 20 right now.
Navy, yeah.
Miami.
Dude, Navy against Notre Dame, we already know how that goes.
Right. Miami.
Boston College.
Miami.
Yeah, not a bad schedule, dude.
Boston College, SMU.
SMU's pretty good.
And then Syracuse, they just scored another touchdown against Syracuse a few minutes ago. And then, they are still fucking running on those dudes, dude. It was like 70.
Dude, that's a terrible schedule.
And then USC.
Stanford and USC.
Dude, that's a lot stronger than some people's schedules. That's a lot stronger than some.
It's an ACC schedule.
And they have no cupcakes on there.
Rice.
Cupcakes? Rice, yeah, Rice. So I do like that about their schedule.
I hear a bunch of cupcakes.
Yeah, you know what I mean by cupcakes.
When you're Notre Dame, you expect a little more.
Not the freebies.
That's
a decent schedule, actually.
What are you talking about?
I mean, I swear, I kind of agree with Anthony. Does it blow like my?
You got Miami.
Hey, y'all heard that schedule, or if you didn't, go look it up and please leave us some comments.
SEC, it's better than anybody else's schedule besides the SEC.
Everybody's making fun of it, so I assume they played Rice like 11 times. You know the way it was going viral like that. It's not as bad. I was like, well, I mean, if USC's good, Miami's good.
Yeah, and there's another
Stanford.
one there too. Who's the other one?
Stanford's one of the
Michigan
worst
State
programs in the
UNC
country.
sucks. I mean, they should probably go undefeated.
College ain't won a
most people
football
don't
game
have
since
two top
Doug
teams on their
Flutie.
schedule.
Right.
There's a lot of people don't. They got USC, Miami. Do they have anybody else? But that's two probably top 15-ish teams, and a lot of people don't have that on their schedule.
James Madison can run through that.
Give Kentucky that schedule.
I'm with you. The SEC schedules are relentless.
I'll take that schedule all day. So yeah, look,
it's good stuff.
I do, on the record, I do think Notre Dame. I'll say it like this: I don't think there's 12 teams in the country better than Notre Dame.
No way.
Nope.
So I do think Notre Dame, in my eyes, if you're just building the 12 best teams, I think they should have been in. They're not because of the criteria. I think what they did with the Notre Dame Miami situation is one of the only things that they actually did get right. Because Miami beat them head to head. Miami had a better resume. Miami should have got in. I think they just got caught kind of with their pants down, the selection committee, because they knew that they should have ranked Miami ahead of Notre Dame like 3-4 weeks ago.
Right. Yeah. That's where they messed up.
Guys, I don't think
everybody.
Maybe they're just waiting and hoping that something happened, and it just never happened.
It didn't. Exactly.
Let me tell you where they go wrong. I'm going to tell you one thing that they paint themselves in the corner. Don't put out the rankings a week before you have your thing. That's stupid. That's stupid
Right.
for them. I mean, as a fan, give it to
What
me.
do you mean? They do the rankings every week.
I know, but I'm not putting one out like a week before, dude. I'm not doing that. I'm not putting
Yeah,
one
they
out.
dropped the rankings on Monday, and then they did their selection on Sunday.
Yeah, because nobody played after that. How does teams move? They didn't.
They did rankings today. So, like, Notre Dame is ranked 9th today, but didn't make the playoff.
Taken up for the committee. I just don't think it's the right system yet. But let's keep trying till we get it right.
All right. So any other gripes? I mean, look, my main thing, I'll just say it one more time, is just get rid of it. Just make the conference championships not automatic bids. Let's just try to get the best 12 teams in. I don't hate James Madison. I don't hate Tulane. I actually small part of me thinks Tulane might be able to give Ole Miss a game. Ole Miss doesn't have Lane Kiffin. I think that's going to matter more than other people think it might matter. And it's a rematch. I know Tulane got their ass kicked, but there's a chance that the game might be closer. But I just don't think they're not top 12 teams, and they are absolutely taking spots from two teams that could make a run to win the championship.
If you make the conference championships be automatic bids, that will keep them to just one automatically. Oh, that's where they got the two. I don't hate the conference championship being automatic bids,
but you
just give them a max of one and then have a criteria for them just to get the one. If not, it goes to an outright bid, another outright bid.
I know, but then you're still taking one spot away from one team.
But they got to be like a top whatever. I know y'all said 12. I said 15. I think that you add something like that into it, and that'd be decent.
Look, if James Madison was undefeated, even they
would be top 12 or 15.
But their best win would still only be over Louisville. It's not like the resume would be great. No. So does it even make that big of a difference if they're 11-1 or 12-0? I don't even know if it does.
Have they played anybody else?
Yeah, probably not. They ain't beat nobody, dude. Yeah. I mean, James Madison.
Where are they ranked at?
No, the only Power 5 team they played was Louisville.
Where they ranked at? Where they ranked at in the thing? Do you know?
Yeah, so look, James and their coach just got hired at UCLA. Yeah, I think he's still going to coach though.
Yeah, he is.
UCLA might have finally hired him a decent coach. UCLA was making some stupid hires for a while.
Any other takeaways? I mean, I could nitpick. There's little stuff like, to me, I think if we're talking about total resumes, I think Georgia should have been the 2 seed. They got a better resume than Ohio State, but that's nitpicking. 2-3 nitpicking. And I actually, me and Anthony looked at it. I actually think it worked out better that Georgia got the 3.
Yeah, that second round game for Ohio State's a beast. Miami or Texas A&M. Ohio State takes the winner between Miami and Texas A&M. Georgia gets Tulane or Ole Miss.
Oh yeah, Georgia came out better.
Yeah, it worked out. But I'm just saying, when that number 1 pops up and it's Indiana, and that number 2 pops up and it's Ohio State, if you're Georgia in that moment, you might be thinking, dude, why ain't we number 2?
Well, maybe the SEC guys did that for them in there. Look, that room is filled with SEC guys, Big Ten. Look, those conferences have influence. And so maybe
you think they worked them into a good second round matchup?
Yeah,
maybe.
Absolutely. I bet you that room is so political it ain't funny. And I guarantee you the SEC and they're all flexing their muscle. It probably helped Alabama, even though I think they deserve to be in, but it probably helped them. They're one of the traditional teams, where Texas is one of the new teams. There's a lot going on, but I think it's very political. I heard Josh Pate say this, and I think it was very true. He says, yes, they got a lot of power, but they have earned that power throughout the years by being good. That's how they earned the power. It wasn't power just given to them. So as much I talk about these hard schedules, maybe the one little advantage they have is they have a little power in that room. Last year, it didn't seem like they did, but this year it seems like maybe they did have a little bit of power.
So we're not going to get into all the matchups and stuff. We got a couple weeks to still talk about all that. But before we move on, is there anything else? You got the bracket in front of you, Josh?
Yeah.
Who got
it? James Madison plays Oregon. The winner of that plays Texas Tech. Yeah. Alabama plays Oklahoma.
Yeah, so winner
of that plays Indiana.
We all think about that. We got two rematches. Tulane and Ole Miss have already played. Alabama and Oklahoma have already played. You like the rematches?
I do not.
I do not.
I wish it was different.
I don't like it either.
I wish they could have done something.
Make it different just on purpose.
I think you should absolutely try to avoid them at all costs.
I do too.
Okay.
Especially in the first round. If you come up with one in the second round,
I mean, out of all the freaking teams in the country, Ole Miss and Tulane has to play again.
I think you can do that in college basketball a little bit, but in college football, the bracket's so small.
Yeah,
I
know.
I get that. Somebody a bad matchup, and they're pissed.
I almost want to bump. Texas A&M lost. Ole Miss. Maybe move Ole Miss to the 7 and make A&M the 6.
Yeah, I mean, we can nitpick on some little stuff here and there. I don't like the rematches. I think the Miami Texas A&M game's going to be good, and I think either one of those teams could give Ohio State a tough game. I do think Georgia got a nice little draw there. Of course, they're down there with they're the 3, so they're down there with the 2. They'd have to play Ohio State in the Final Four. But other than that, man, they got the winner of the 2. They got to bye, and then they get the winner of the Tulane Ole Miss game. That's the best second round game you could ask.
Well, at least Georgia earned theirs. And listen, I'll be pulling for Oregon this tournament and a couple other teams, but at least Georgia earned theirs. Ole Miss and Oregon, they didn't earn it quite as much as Georgia did.
They haven't really beat anybody.
They got a pretty sweet deal. Oregon and for their situation, they knew they weren't going to get a bye. Oregon and Ole Miss got closest thing as you could get to bye. Now, they're not byes. They got to show up and play and beat them. But, like, to be a 17, 21-point favorite in the first round, I know I got to play the first round and get a home game, make the school some money. There might be some benefits there over having the bye. I don't think there is. Some people might argue it.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, everybody wants to see the best 12 teams, right? I mean, come on. Let's just see the best 12 teams. And that will always be subjective, and we can always argue, is this team the best team? Is this team the 11th or 12th best team? But, man, we can get a little bit closer than what we got, I think. If we put Notre Dame and either Texas or Vandy in those two spots that James Madison and Tulane is, dude, we've got a fucking hell of a bracket, right?
Yes,
I mean, let's just think about
Hey, Charlie, I like what you said about it. You ain't mentioned it on the show, but we've talked about
my little play.
Yeah, so let those two teams out, put those three teams in, but two of those teams have a playing game.
Did I mention that to you?
Yeah.
That would only expand the bracket to 14 instead of 16 or 24, 32. Whoever's your 11 and 12 seed, 11 plays 14, 12 plays 13 in playing games to get the 11th and the 12th
And
spot.
everybody would be happy because I'm telling you, if you ask Vandy or Texas or Notre Dame right now, just give me a seat at the table. You just want a chance.
And honestly, in that scenario where these spots aren't given and we had that play-in scenario, it would probably be Vandy and Texas and like BYU and whoever the next, I don't even know who the next team would be, but that would be your plans because these teams still wouldn't even be in the top 14 or whatever. But that was just an idea. Actually, I think it's not a bad one, really, because it only expands the bracket by two teams.
And it gives you a chance. People just want a chance.
I'd love to see right now, this weekend coming up,
they can play in a hurry and force them to play back in a hurry, but they don't care.
James Madison against Texas and Tulane against Vandy or Notre Dame.
Whoever it is. It don't matter.
That'd be great. That'd be great. We could get it over this weekend. Let Blitz the bookie figure this shit out.
What about this? You can pay $30 million to pay your way into that game if you're within those three teams. I'm joking. But, hey, don't give college football no ideas.
I was going to say.
Don't give them no ideas.
They'll definitely take that. All right. Well, we'll get back to the college football talk next week. When do these games start?
Saturday, not this Saturday, not the coming up Saturday, but the Saturday. Yep.
So
Thursday and Friday, don't they? Thursday and Friday, yeah.
So next week will be game week.
Yep.
All right.
So I'm gonna tell you what's bad. I heard this somewhere. They got Oregon on Saturday night. They got Oregon, and James Madison is the primetime game at night when they could have had Miami at Texas A&M, which is probably the best first round game at night at Kyle Field down there.
What is it, Friday night?
Saturday. It might be Friday. Whatever it is, though, they have Oregon, the primetime game at night, and Texas A&M starting during the day.
Did I hear that Oregon and James Madison are playing on like HBO Max or some shit?
I don't think so, no.
Look it up. Look it up where they're playing.
My box got that, baby.
Huh?
My box got
I'm telling you, look it up where they're playing that game or like where you can watch that game.
I doubt it's on HBO Max. Are you serious?
I heard something. Somebody sent me a text the other night and said that.
News.
Maybe it could be.
Miami and Florida. That's a noon game on Saturday.
But that could be like the point that they made is that could be a night game, be a really special game to watch. And I agree with them at Kyle Field. You don't want like Oregon to be your primetime game against James Madison.
Let me look it up real quick.
It's HBO Max. If so,
I swear I heard that. I was like,
Max
what the fuck?
HBO Max will be getting a lot of orders.
It's on TNT, but streaming is available on HBO Max.
Told you I heard something about it.
As part of ESPN's coverage.
If I'm watching HBO, I'm watching Red Shoe Diaries.
Red Shoe Diaries.
Blast from the past.
We've got to pick this up.
Yeah.
The lone two games.
What? Are we going to talk this Army Navy?
We could just pick
respect.
Yeah, just
how many years have been going? How many years?
126 meeting. The anniversary, 250 years of the Armed Forces.
Of both of them.
Yeah, both of them.
250th anniversary of the Army and Navy.
Give me Navy.
I know that.
That's all I got.
Army and Navy were the big teams back in the day. It was Harvard, Yale, Army, Navy. That's who started football. Basketball was started in Kansas. I think football was first started off as like a rec sport, either one of the Ivy Leagues or Army, Navy. But they were the big powerhouses. That's where the term the horsemen came from. I don't know if it was Army or Navy, but they had like Mr. Inside, Mr. Outside, and they called themselves like the Horsemen. So I know a little history there. I had a chance to go to Naval Academy. I've said that a couple times on the show. Charlie lived down by there, but that was in Annapolis. That was really cool. So I always pull for Navy. I'm a Navy guy, so I was never in the Army, but I think if you had me choose between being in the Navy or the Army, I would be in the Navy. So respect both teams, nothing but respect. And usually it's a classy football game. That is a special football game to our country. It just is. It's not that they're great, but it's just all the cadets go to the game and it's cool to watch.
Yep.
Yeah, that game's in Maryland in the Ravens Stadium. The Naval Academy is in Annapolis. I used to work in Annapolis back when I lived in Maryland. Lived about 20 minutes from Annapolis. Never went to a Navy game. I wish I would have. My grandfather was in the Army. I'm going with my grandpops.
Oh, okay.
Give me the Army over the Navy in a little upset. I see they're 6.5 point, 6.5 point underdog. Give me the Army. Army's the best out of all the armed forces. No disrespect to
Air Force
else,
was
but
really good there for a while.
Mhm.
Remember, they had some good teams. A lot of those teams run the triple option because they're undersized because of requirements for the military. So the triple option gives you a little bit, allows you to, block some bigger guys with some cut blocks and stuff. It's a special game, guys. It always has been. And one question, if y'all know this, and we'll move on. Do you got to be a cadet to go to the game, or is there regular fans in the stands?
There's regular fans.
Okay,
I'm sure family and all that.
Don't you feel like when you watch it, it's everybody in their coats and stuff?
That's probably because that's all they want to show.
Yeah.
You know what
I
I'm saying?
got
But
you.
yeah,
I'm sure that's just on the camera side, you know.
Hey, that's special.
It
That's
is
cool.
pretty cool, though. It would be cool to kind of go to one of those games
No, it
one
would.
time. So, yeah, give me Army. You two got Navy. If we picking this other game, let's pick it. Boise State, Washington.
You know what
I have
this is?
no clue
This
who's
is the
playing.
Pac-12 championship.
Oh,
What's
baby.
left of it?
The Pac.
Is there only
What?
2 teams left, right?
Yeah. It's the
Boise
playing
State's
there?
not in it. I thought it was Washington.
It's Boise
No,
State.
Washington's in the Big Ten.
It's Washington State.
Washington State.
Oh, this says Washington. So Boise State. I
It's
thought
the-
it
They're
was
playing
Washington.
for the money.
It's
They're
No,
playing
but
for the money.
it's Washington State and
There are only 2 teams in it.
In Boise.
Oregon State.
Yeah, it
Boise
is. That's
State's
who it
not
is.
in it, is it?
That's
But
who it
but
is.
they used to be. It's a bowl. It's the LA Buck Bowl, aka like the Pac-12 Legacy Bowl. So these two.
Because I thought the Pac-2 was Oregon State and Washington State.
Yeah.
I'm
Well, they
almost
sta-
positive.
I know they
Boise
sta-
State's in another
I
conference.
know they stayed in it because there was money left in the pot, and they just said, "Heck, we'll stay and keep the money."
Well, whatever it is, I don't
No,
know
it's
what it
not
is.
Washington State. It's Washington.
That's what I said.
I know. Yeah.
So it ain't the Pac-12 champ. I mean, it ain't.
That's what they call it. Like
okay,
it's like a
okay,
Pac-12.
okay.
Yeah, I'm not calling these teams in
So
the
it's,
Pac-12.
yeah, I got
But
you.
I guess it's
got
just
you.
two
Okay.
crappy old school
It's
Pac-12 teams.
It's a
You know how they all the bowls have ACC number 6 versus always SEC number 4 or whatever it may be. But this is what that is.
it's a consolation prize.
Yeah.
I have no clue who's playing, but
Give me Washington.
give me Washington.
Who cares?
If their quarterback plays, I like Washington because they've got a decent quarterback. They're favored by 8.5. I'm not big on Boise State. How many losses they got? They are 9-4, and Washington's 8-4. So this is a bowl game because Boise already played in the championship game, right?
It's the LA Buck Bowl is what they call
The
it.
Buck Bowl. Give me the Huskies.
It don't
So
matter.
Washington playing Boise. I'll take Washington.
There we go.
Washington-
NFL time.
Who
Washington
cares?
ain't bad.
Who cares?
Come on, I'm getting hungry.
I'm editing that shit out anyways.
I'm getting hungry.
All right, NFL. Dude, we're getting down to it in the NFL. I said week 15 at the beginning. Is that right? Yeah, it is. Week 15.
Mhm.
So 15, yeah, we got 4 weeks left, man. That's kind of depressing too.
Another
Oh,
interception. 3.
another one. My under's looking great, son.
He's horrible now. He's freaking horrible. They're gonna fire him, dude. I think they're pissed at him.
Go
right
fire
now.
him.
Yeah, right. All right, so we do got I think we got some good games. We actually kind of said the games last weekend weren't good, and I thought the NFL slate
Yeah.
turned out pretty
Mhm.
good last weekend. So let's just jump right into these games. Your boy, Daniel Jones.
Yeah, we can start.
Sad,
We,
man.
we,
Sad.
we can start with Colts Seahawks. Daniel Jones out. Y'all know that's my team. I don't worry.
Riley Leonard in. Oh, look
Dude,
at your
that was
boy.
no,
Look
that
at
was
your
a hell of
boy
a play.
fumble.
Yeah, fire
That
him.
was
Fire
Look,
him.
He's terrible.
Fire him.
Anthony doesn't see none of the turnovers that Herbert
Charlie, at
makes.
this point, if you don't think Jalen Hurts is bad, you're blind.
You don't
I mean,
make-
the whole world sees it at this point.
But you're
Before you had to argue
ignoring.
him.
You're
Dude,
ignoring
that was a hell of a
everything.
play. Watch his play. It's
You're
a hell of a
ignoring
play. Watch
everything
his
your
play,
boy
dude. It's a
does.
hell- He pushes through him and sacks him all at once. Watch him. That's not a good angle on it. But he pushes through that guy. No, it was a hell of a play.
It was a good play. It was a bad fumble, too.
But back to my savior who had saved my Colts out of nowhere. Everybody thought he was washed up. I was hating on him. Anthony was on my ass, probably telling me, Josh, you fake fanning over there. I hate the way you cheer for your Colts. But he talked me into liking Daniel Jones, and I did, and I was supporting my team.
That's a sad story, dude.
Yeah,
He's been through a lot.
He did.
And he was a comeback player. I mean, like, dude,
yeah,
it's sad.
Exactly. He could have been comeback player of the year and blows out his Achilles.
Is it confirmed?
Yeah. I think
terrible.
they scheduled the surgery. I mean, the Colts were looking good, not as good as they were, but
insert Riley Leonard.
You feel good for Daniel Jones, whether you liked him or not,
yes,
I think, as a person.
I mean, they interviewed Trevor Lawrence after the game and said, hey, it's an Achilles. And, you could see it in Trevor Lawrence's face that he's like, man, that dude, he's like, that guy's been through a lot, and he bounced back.
Oh, I guarantee
he goes,
it.
and then now to see that, he goes, man, I feel bad for that guy.
Hey, I'll say this. Y'all know I'm a Lamar hater. I am a Lamar hater, but I respect that he's been great, okay? I've always said when his legs go, he's not a pocket passer. I've said it, and I've stuck with it, and I've argued people, he's got a great passer rating. I don't care. He has a great passer rating because the defense, he gets to go up again, and he's great because of that, because his legs aren't. But I said whenever his legs go, he won't be no good because he can't throw out of a pocket like a pocket passer. His running ability, and it's coming true. He can't throw out of a pocket, but I don't like seeing anybody that's had such a great career start to go downhill. I don't. Just like with Daniel Jones, I don't like seeing it. And as much as Lamar, I'm a hater on him. I think he's a good dude, so I hate that. And his story ain't broke yet, but it just seems like his legs are gone now, or they're not as dynamic as they were. Okay, you think he's hurt? Good deal.
I don't
know.
know.
'Cause I don't enjoy seeing that.
But the Colts Seahawks, he's playing good ball, scoring a lot of points.
Good. You might want to insert a different word for that.
Really good.
Dude,
First thing they did was get rid of Geno and bring in Darnold. I thought I was right about Geno. I didn't like him. But then he played pretty decent down there.
He did.
I thought, man, maybe I'm wrong about Geno. And then he goes to the Raiders and they suck. And another quarterback comes up, Seahawks does good. The Seahawks were good all along. They just had Geno Smith.
I just think it's too tough a battle for the Colts. I mean, the Seahawks, 13-point favorites.
The Seahawks might be the best team in the NFL. I mean, I still think it's the Rams, but they're right there with them. If the Rams, if they mess around a little bit, Seattle's going to end up winning that division. Look, I'm not going to compare Sam Darnold to Dak Prescott yet, but I don't trust Sam Darnold late in the game. I really don't, dude. I mean, I trust him for 3.5 quarters, but
he's loose with the ball.
When it gets about 8 minutes left in the fourth quarter, I'm just crossing my fingers if the game is close. And now, luckily, the last few weeks, they just blow the doors off people, so they ain't got to worry about it. But, when we get late in the playoffs and stuff, Sam Darnold will worry me with protecting the ball. He takes a lot of chances.
I was going to say the same thing. I was waiting for you to get that talk. He takes a lot of chances.
He thinks he's a good quarterback.
Jameis does the same thing. Jameis Winston, that's how he throws all those yards because there ain't a hole he don't think he can throw into,
But I say Seattle's real good. I'm glad we're not talking about spreads because 13 is a lot. I don't care who's playing quarterback. I didn't watch a lot of that. You probably did. Did Riley Leonard? I mean, his stats didn't look terrible.
The game was already out of reach.
They didn't try to do a whole lot.
No.
Were they not even stretching the field, trying to come back and shit?
No. It was 28-7, I think, or 21-7 when he came out.
Just trying to run the clock, get the game over with.
Because if he got hurt, I told you earlier, the backup was Tyler Warren, the tight end. They didn't have another quarterback. They have to bring up a guy off the practice squad for this week to back up.
I want to see what Leonard had, though.
I would like to see what Tyler Warren's got.
I would have loved to see that. Look, I've been riding Seattle the last few weeks on big spreads, so I might end up betting this. I don't know. But it seems like a lot to me. Just winners, though. Look, Seattle's way too good right now. I'll be cheering for Indy because I want the Rams to get a little separation from Seattle, but I'll probably have my money on Seattle because they are super hot right now. Give me the Seahawks. I don't think y'all ain't taking Indy in this, are you?
No way.
Talking about the NFL, the best team in the NFL. I don't know if they're the best team, but maybe they could be. But man, they're playing. I think they're really good, and that's the Houston Texans. Took care of the Chiefs last night. The Texans defense good. The offense is doing enough with that defense to win games. And but yeah, I'm taking Seattle in that game.
Well, we started backwards. Let's just run it backwards. Another 4:25 game. Detroit at the Rams. There's a good lineup of football this week. Detroit at the Rams.
That's a hell of a who's home?
At the Rams.
That's a hell of a
Detroit
matchup.
at the Rams. Rams are -6 right now. Detroit, man, is up and down. I'm going to roll with the Rams in this game at home. they might be due for a little bit of a letdown, even though I say that they got beat by Carolina a couple weeks ago. Give me the Rams to keep rolling here. Detroit's got some issues, and I don't think they get it figured out on the road against possibly the best team in the NFL.
I think Detroit's still good. I think they're still good. I had them against the Cowboys. I had the Packers against Detroit. I think Packers are a bad matchup for Detroit, the way they can stop the run. The Rams got a really good defense, but I think they're better against rushing the passer. I think the key to beating Detroit is shutting down that run game. That's what makes that offense go. So I'm actually going to – and I like the Rams. I'm still really high on the Rams. But in this situation, I just think it's a little bit of a decent matchup for Detroit. I'll take Detroit on the road, maybe a little – I guess that's a little bit of an upset. What's the point spread on that game?
6.
Take Detroit.
I'm going to take Detroit because the Rams pissed me off when they lost to Carolina because I could have had a nice little lick if they just covered money line.
When you lose a game like that.
You know, so I'm salty on the Rams. Dan Campbell didn't go for it on fourth down one time on Thursday. He's back to being a normal 1996 football coach.
Yeah,
He's done with going for it on fourth down. He's going to grind it out and beat the Rams.
That's going to be an awesome game.
It is. That's a really good game.
That'll be why we're up at B-Dubs.
Yeah,
That'd be a good one right there. Another 425 game.
Yes.
Green Bay at Denver. I mean, that's
a good matchup.
Look, I called Green. I made a TikTok about a month and a half ago. It was probably week 4 or week 5. It was early. And I said Green Bay was overrated. Look, I was a little bit for entertainment purposes. But at that point, I did think they were a little bit overrated.
You fooled me. I thought they were too.
Look, I didn't think they weren't good. I just thought they were being pumped up because remember in week 3, week 4, people were saying they were the best team in the NFL. So I was saying overrated by that standpoint. I knew they were good, and I really like Jordan Love is a really good quarterback, probably top 5 in the league.
Mm-hmm.
That's how good I think he is. Green Bay's coming along. If their coach can stay, I don't even dislike the coach. I actually like him.
Really good.
I like him, but man, I feel like in big moments he gets in the way sometimes. And if he could just figure out a way to stay out of his team's way in the big moments, I think Jordan Love is a good enough quarterback to lead his team maybe to the promised land. I don't know that that's this year, but dude, I love Green Bay in this game. I think Denver's been so lucky. I think Denver is good. No, y'all hear me dog Denver. Probably don't think I like them. I don't have no problem with Denver. I just think they've been lucky, and I think Green Bay gets them here. I like Green Bay on the road.
So I just talk about it because it's been talked about a lot, I guess, across the country. Denver, we add them to our team that we think there's some betting stuff going on there. Denver's had a lot of weird situations. Played the worst bad beat of the year. Happened this year, one of them.
Well, I had one too. I had one too with that damn field goal with bad. The leverage call. Yeah. Remember that shit?
Yep. Everybody,
that was Denver too.
If you follow the NFL, you've seen it. It just don't set well in my stomach. That cost me a pretty decent little parlay. And I won the second set of games yesterday, but I would have won every single one of them if Denver would have won. I actually had the Seattle tied with them, so everything was looking good. I actually thought I won it. Was putting up Christmas lights, and once Green Bay went ahead and covered that game, I thought I won. I got looking at the score, and they didn't. Of course, I wanted to see how it happened, and that's all I want to talk about
it. And that's all I got to say.
So you take it, Broncos or Packers?
Who's home?
Packers.
Denver. No, it's at Denver.
Is it?
Huh?
Is it?
That's what I got.
Okay.
Let me double check. Yeah, it's at Denver.
Okay.
Green Bay at Denver. Green Bay's -2.
I'm very bullish on both those teams. But I'm going to take Denver. I think Denver's really good.
Who you got, Josh?
Man, I hate the Broncos. I do. I don't like them at all.
You hear that, Dennis?
I don't like them at all.
I them too.
They just keep winning for no reason. Bo Nix just run it for 30 yards for no reason. God, I hate this game. I'm going reverse jinx here because every team I bet loses. So I'm riding with Denver. But go Pack.
Sometimes you got to do that. This game, I don't know if we should talk about it.
I think we have to because we got to talk about the Chiefs.
We're going to talk about it. Yeah. The Chargers, who we're watching play a pretty ugly game right now against the Eagles, and they are at the Chiefs. This doesn't have a spread right now, of course, because the Chargers are at, I think there might have been an opening spread of 3, but it's they took it down now. The Chargers at Kansas City. Kansas City lost again this past week to Houston, and they are now 6-7. They have the same record as the Miami Dolphins.
Miami's good.
The Kansas City Chiefs have the same record as
Is
the
Miami
Miami
still in the
Dolphins.
playoff run or no? No
Oh,
chance.
they still show them in the graphics in the hunt, baby.
What's their
My
percentage?
my Charlie says, we're in the hunt. I think, yeah.
Don't you love that over there? You better get on the wagon,
No.
son. You better. Hey, they've been practicing in the cold. They have an indoor facility down there. They turn it down. They freeze it out. They've been practicing for the cold.
Anthony,
They play the cold this week. You're going to see it. They beat the Jets at the Jets, didn't they? It had to be cold there.
I'm just seeing my draft pick go up and up and up, or down and down, whatever you want to say. The
Can't even lose right.
The Dolphins are going to end up with the 19th draft pick. What are we doing? What are we doing?
Winning, baby.
Winning. Garbage. I will say, though, that it doesn't seem like the locker room gave up on them like we kind of thought that it did, because they're still playing ball, and they are playing pretty good right now.
I feel like when they got rid of the GM, everybody was happy. Like he might have been.
I told you that was a major issue for us, and that was the first step that they took.
Dude, they did that, and everybody was like, "Yes, let's go."
Yeah, he was an issue.
You remember? She was the owner, but you remember Wild Thing, Major League?
Yeah,
and they had her. She was the owner. She was the bad mojo.
Yeah, March shot.
So yeah, the Chargers, they are right now 8-4, but they're in a tight game here.
8-4, good for them. I can't even believe they're 8-4.
They're in a tight game here against Philly, and looks like they just had another. I don't know if y'all saw that, but it looked like they had another offensive lineman go out of the game. I don't know how bad he was, but it didn't look great. They're already down 2 offensive linemen this year, and looks like a third one. So who knows what's going to happen with this game? You know, everybody's chasing Denver right now in that division. Chargers are 8-4, but they're 2 games back, I think, of Denver.
Chargers weren't missing them offensive tackles. They'd be a problem. I mean, you can definitely see it's causing them problems. They're having protection problems today. To be 8-4 with the injuries they've had, I think that's pretty impressive.
The story is Kansas City, though. 6-7.
15% chance to make the playoffs.
Pretty close to eliminated. You know, they're not there yet mathematically, but they're getting awfully close. Will they make the playoffs? Is this the end of the dynasty? Travis Kelce playing like shit.
Mahomes, his 9th year, has never missed the playoffs.
Wow.
Since he's been a starter, he's never missed the playoffs.
Well, they got a 15% chance.
So, yeah, it's looking bleak for Kansas City. If you kind of break down what's going on in the AFC, they're not going to win the division. That's already out of the question. So, yeah, this is going to be, another basically a playoff game, a do-or-die game for Kansas City, because if they ain't mathematically out now, they probably will be if they lose again. Who's sitting in the wild card spots right now? Buffalo would be the first wild card spot. The second one, I'm guessing, is Jacksonville. Or, I guess the Colts.
Yeah, it'd be the Colts, because Jacksonville's leading the division.
Well, maybe the Chargers at 8-4. What's y'all's record, 8-5?
Yep.
So it's either the Chargers or
the Colts.
So Kansas City's in dire. They can't lose another game.
It helps them that Daniel Jones just lost his Achilles.
Yeah, but he's still they're still battling with the Chargers, who they're 2 games back of. So that game next weekend it's a playoff game for Kansas City. Mm-hmm. I think mathematically, I don't know this, but I would say they're probably out if they lose next week.
Yes. Oh yeah.
I think
they would need a whole lot of help.
15% chance.
Yeah.
I'm going to take Kansas City just for that reason. They're at home. I can't really trust the Chargers much, especially I actually think the Chargers are getting healthy in other spots, but their offensive line is a problem. I can't trust them. Justin Herbert just had surgery a week ago. I don't know how much that's affecting them on his left hand, but I'm taking Kansas City at home here.
Look, I'm going to take up for Kansas City a little bit, and my son, I appreciate this. Dude, there's nobody that's had a harder schedule than them. I know
we said it last week.
Dude.
It's been a monster.
The Texans are on fire. Everybody knows that. They just played the Texans. Cowboys are on fire now.
Just name every good team in the NFL.
The Eagles.
They played literally all of them.
And a lot of them are tight games.
They play Denver next week. No, they got the Titans and then Denver.
Cowboys was a 3-point game. Colts, they won that one in overtime. That was with Daniel Jones. And the Broncos, they lost that by 3. The Bills, they lost that by a touchdown. The Commanders, Raiders, they made too bad. Then the Lions, the Jaguars, they lost by 3. The Ravens, that's when the Ravens was good. The Giants, and then the Eagles to start the year.
If you're a Super Bowl team, though, you got to win some of those games.
I agree. They won some of those close games last year, and this year they're coming up short in some of them close games.
So you got
They're
Do or
playing.
die.
Oh, no doubt, Kansas City.
Kansas
City win
City.
that game. Colts are in trouble, dude, and I hate it.
No, they're not playing the Colts.
Who are
They're
they
playing the
playing?
Chargers.
Chargers. Oh, I'm not impressed with the Chargers right now. Chargers can't protect their quarterback.
Right.
I'm watching
And
right
that
in front of
defensive
my
line
eyes.
is nice. You know, you got Chris Jones and Kansas City.
I still value Kansas City high. I still think they're a good team. They've just had some tough games.
Yep.
So,
I'm going Chiefs here too. I think with the beat up offensive line that the Chargers got, Chiefs defense is still nice.
Chiefs,
that
Chiefs
defense
could have
looked
caught
good
Houston
yesterday.
and Dallas at the beginning of the year,
Mhm.
caught the Eagles now. They just caught teams at the wrong time.
Mhm. I think they win this one though.
So yeah, we're all on Kansas City in a do or die game. Think their fans have given up?
Hell no, those fans are fucking
No,
nuts.
they're good fans.
Those fans are
You're
crazy.
right. Hey, they might be the best fans of football, dude.
All right, game of the week: Buffalo at New England. The first place New England Patriots. The 10-2, I believe, New England Patriots.
Drake May up in the house.
Josh Allen versus Drake May. Buffalo already got beat by New England earlier this year. So you think Drake May is going to get the sweep? This one is at home. They've already won on the road. Now they get him at home. New England's hot, super hot. When's the last time they lost a game?
Dude, they don't lose.
They do not
Best team in
lose.
NFL. We talking about the best team in NFL. We
we
better
never-
start putting them in it because I haven't been, but I've been high on Drake May and the Patriots, but not that high. But I'm going to tell you what, we better get with the program. Drake May shows Josh Allen, who's the new sheriff in town, shows him as his daddy. Drake May is great, guys.
I'm sorry, 11-2. My bad.
Drake May was, I forget who they played last game. Who did New England play last week?
I don't know. They won.
Dude, hey, so I'm a big believer with today's rules and the way you can't hit quarterbacks like you're at a big disadvantage if you don't scramble. Dude, the dude's doing it from the pocket, dude, and he is throwing dimes. I mean,
Last
great,
week was
dude.
the Giants on Monday
He's
night.
great. The way, he's just really accurate, knows where to go with the ball. He's the next Brady, and he's got a bigger arm than Brady.
Mm-hmm.
Drake May. New England's been lucky.
They definitely got lucky and landed that one because he's good. But let me point out let me point out these wins.
I know they've had some weak ones, but they're starting to get a couple good ones.
Hold on.
You're right.
Let me point.
Why you do that? I want to take a sip of this Boston Lager.
Let me point out these wins real quick because I think this might be the first time I've really looked at their schedule.
We've talked about it before, haven't we?
Let's go
It's
back.
weak.
Let's start with last week. They beat the Giants. The week before, they beat the Bengals. The week before, they beat the Jets. Then they beat the Bucks at Tampa. I'll give them a little bit of credit for that, even though the Bucks are falling apart. But I'll give them some credit for that. They beat the Falcons. They beat the Browns. They beat the Titans. They beat the Saints.
Gosh.
They beat the Panthers.
That's pretty
They beat
bad,
the Dolphins. They beat the Raiders. Hold on. I'm leaving their good ones for last.
Okay.
There's only two of them. The Steelers.
The Steelers ain't no good.
And they beat the Bills.
Bills are only good win.
Who beat them?
Who beat the Patriots?
Yes.
The Raiders
Yeah,
beat
the
'em?
Raiders in week 1.
I had the Patriots in that game, and they cost me money. How you freaking
Dirty
lose to the
dogs.
Raiders?
And they lost to the Steelers. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
They didn't even beat the Steelers. The only good team that they beat is the Bills. Honestly, dude, that's bad. And they lost to the Raiders. Dolphins, Panthers, Saints, Titans, Browns, Falcons, Jets, Bengals, Giants.
Pretty bad.
And they beat the
That
Bengals
is
without Burrow.
But look,
But they beat the Bills at the Bills.
Yeah.
I do think that gives them a little credibility there.
at the Bills is a great win, but that's the only good win that they got. That's the first time I've really noticed that. We might have talked about it a couple
We
weeks
hinted
ago.
on it, but we
Yeah,
knew
but,
they were weak.
Dude, that is now I think they're a good team. The way I look at them, and I might have already said this on the podcast, I just think they're a year ahead of time. They like this year I compare them to the Bears. I think the Bears are good, but I think the Bears are about a year or two away. I think the Patriots are a year or two away, but they've got all the pieces. They got the right coach. They got the right quarterback. They got a weak schedule.
It did go up 340 yards against Atlanta, which Atlanta has.
Anthony's
a
trying
really
to find anything right now.
Dude, they scored 32 points on Cleveland. No, Charlie. I agree 100%. The schedule's weak, and it continues to be weak the rest of the year.
Yeah.
Hey, sweep the Bills, beat the Bills this week, and go to the Ravens next week, even though I think the Ravens are terrible. But go to the Ravens and win that game because that's not going to be an easy game for the Patriots. Do that, and then they finish at the Jets and at home against the Dolphins. Beat the Bills this week.
I think the Ravens.
That'd be a
game's
big
easy. I think
step
the
in
Ravens
making me
game's
believe
easy.
a little
I
bit
think
more.
The Ravens game's an easy game. I think the
Not
Ravens,
at the Ravens, it ain't. There's one thing about the Ravens fans. They will be in that stadium.
I believe
They
that.
will be, as long as they're mathematically able to make the playoffs, that stadium will be full and rocking, guaranteed.
They might leave a little early.
Look, I don't think the Ravens are any good, but I'm just saying that would be a big step into maybe making me believe a little bit more. Sweep the Bills and beat the Patriots next week. If they do
They'll
that,
beat the
they're going to
Ravens.
beat the Ravens next week. If they do that, they'll beat the Jets, and then they got the Dolphins at home, and you know the Dolphins ain't winning that game on January 4th.
Charlie, I didn't even realize the schedule was that bad. I knew it was
It's
bad,
bad.
but the Bills win does give them a little credibility. They came up with 400 yards of offense against Cleveland, which is tough to do. And they hit 350 yards of offense against Atlanta's defense, which is really good too. So I'm just trying to find some Bengals because I like them.
Well, snack time, guys. Look, the snacks ain't making my decision on this one. I'm taking Buffalo. I think New England's got to regress a little bit. And like I said, that schedule right there, Buffalo's going to be not going to want to get swept by them. So I'm taking Buffalo in this. Look, we got some Sam Adams, Boston Lager. I will say this, that beer last week,
The zombie?
better than the Sam Adams.
You think so?
I do.
Really?
I do.
That's a hot take.
I think that's a little hoppier than that other stuff.
That's a little sweeter, I think.
Something to it.
I could the worst gas. That's what beer gives me gas.
Probably the zombie dust last week, but I think that's a little sweeter. I could drink like 3 or 4 of those, and we got Boston cream pie.
And we got Buffalo chicken pizza. Look, we had the Buffalo wings last time we did Buffalo, so we tried to do something different. Buffalo chicken pizza, Boston lager, and a little Boston cream pie / cake, whatever it is. It's Boston cream something. We got, dude, this is a full.
We're having a damn meal tonight.
I mean,
we're done.
The Buffalo chicken pizza. I don't eat this much. My wife gets this all the time.
I like it.
Y'all eat buffalo chicken
I'm
pizza?
pretty plain Jane, but I never eat this. But I'm hungry and it's not bad.
It's not bad.
Are you like a lot of Supreme and stuff, or are you plain Jane when it comes?
No,
to
I'll
pizza?
eat Supreme.
I'm a meat guy.
I'm a plain Jane pepperoni. Give me pepperoni pizza.
This buffalo chicken pizza is pretty good.
It is a good pizza.
Just to be fair, it did not come from Buffalo this time. But
We shipped it in from.
I had it. Shout out Dane. He was in Buffalo for the game last night. He could have brought us home something from Buffalo. I had to get on his ass.
It did come from Buffalo.
He actually just texted me.
should have brought us some wings.
I know it. Dane, where's our wings at, buddy? You texted me literally 5 minutes ago. I got you. He texted me saying thanks for the Blitz a Bookie koozie.
You got a friend that works at BW3s?
No.
Oh shit! I love BW3s.
Pizza's good. Who y'all picking? Oh, he went Buffalo.
I'm going Buffalo.
Who you got?
Who they playing?
The Patriots.
Patriots.
Yeah, you already said that. You said Josh Allen's, or you said Drake May's Tom Brady.
He's the next Joe Montana.
He's Josh Allen's daddy.
And make sure I make a TikTok of that saying that he's the next Tom Brady. See if you get fried as much as I did saying Cutter was the best quarterback in the country.
He will be.
All right.
You pick him by the food?
No. I hate the Patriots. Being a Peyton Manning and a Colts fan, people always talk about Brady owned Peyton Manning. He had a winning record against them in the playoffs. Just so y'all know, 3-2. People don't know that. They think Peyton would lose to the fucking Jets and the Chargers all the time.
Tony Dungy versus Belichick in his prime. Come on, Dave.
Wow.
Tony Dungy, I like Tony, but he was overrated coach.
Did y'all try this Boston cream cake yet?
But we're sitting here chomping.
I need to try
But
this.
I am going Buffalo Bills, even though I still think they should have lost to the Bengals yesterday. The Burrow doesn't throw those 2 picks. Back to back.
Such a good game.
He was, man.
Man, he was.
They were
having a
winning
good
that game. They looked good. I was like, the Bengals are back. And they laid an egg.
All right, wasn't really high on the beer, but the Boston cream cake, I like anything sweet.
I do
You don't-
enjoy.
I'm telling you, man, this time next year,
I
Charles.
don't really like the chocolate on the top.
Charlie might get
It's like
heavy.
fudge or
Charlie
something.
might get heavy set. Sir.
You said you liked fudge.
I know
didn't
we
you?
done. This
Yeah.
podcast don't
Have you
ruin
ever
it.
gained weight at all, Charlie?
No.
Like, have you ever
No,
you've never had like fat on your stomach or nothing?
I've been no. I've been 6'2", 170 to 180 since I was 18,
But
19
you've never,
years old.
I mean, I ain't trying to be funny, but you never like
I've never been.
ate bad for a while and like got a little pudge in
I
your
can't.
stomach.
I can't.
I
Dude.
got you.
I can't. I can.
That's
literally-
genetics. That's
dude.
genetics.
I can eat anything, and I cannot. I will not get over.
You know what? I had a
180 probably.
I had a cousin like that, but as he got older, it ended. Now he's a little bit heavy set. He was just like that, but you've kept yours even when you got older, huh?
Dude, I have tried like. Let me make sure I eat 4,000 calories, dude. I cannot pick up.
What's your metabolism? It's just
It is.
Yeah,
That's
what
all.
it is.
That's all it is. I
Dude,
mean,
that's
it's genetics.
All
like
that
you said.
stuff's genetics, dude. You know, you look.
My dad was like at 6'4", 6'5", skinny as could be until I'd say until he was 50 years old, dude.
That's gonna be cool to see. You
Maybe
like
at
that.
about
It's gonna be cool to see you like that, Charlie.
At about 50 or a little bit over 50, he finally like started not a stomach, but just a very little stomach because he was super skinny too. You know my dad.
Yeah.
He never really got that way either. So it's just genetics.
No,
People ask me all the time,
dude.
how do you stay that skinny? I don't know, dude. Fuck my bad.
Dude, I think y'all know me. I think everything's genetics.
It's
But
all
the older I
genetics.
get, the
It's
more
all
I realize
genetics.
almost everything you do is genetics.
I went to go. Went to Chill and Sweets here. Y'all need to give me like some diet stuff here. I can't be,
Josh got thinking about his genetics. I did too, Josh.
I can't be the fat guy on the show.
Yeah, that's right. Me too, buddy.
God dang.
I got thinking about my genetics. Like, you better slow down. I'll be a little zippy.
Everybody, people start recognizing me outside the pod. Like, man, you look heavier on the camera. We thought you'd be taller and a little wider.
I have to see if I can find some filters for you. A little thin.
Yeah, I like Charlie's never had to watch what he eats. Charlie can go into the kitchen, eat whatever. The next day, eat whatever. That's awesome, dude.
I was messing around on TikTok. I did a TikTok, and I used one of the face filters just to joke to see if anybody would notice. It was like the second comment. I've seen you use such and such filter.
That's funny. All right, guys. Appreciate y'all listening. Keep checking us out on all the social media platforms. Make sure you check us out on TikTok. That's pretty much where we're most active right now is on TikTok. We do have the YouTube page, so make sure if you do the YouTube thing to subscribe on YouTube. But check us out on TikTok. We're on Facebook.
MySpace? You talking about our MySpace?
Yeah, we keep that secret though.
Grindr?
MySpace, Grindr, the OnlyFans. That's just for our hardcore
Guys, if
listeners
you
that
want a
have been with us
subscription
since
to our
the beginning.
OnlyFans page, get with me. I'll give you a half-off deal for the first 3 months. We got some good content.
All right, guys. Appreciate y'all. We'll catch you next week, and we'll catch you right back here on the second half, the right side of Kentucky sports. Blitz the bookie, guys.
Wheel Stein, baby.
Somebody eat this last piece of pizza.
I'm good.
I don't want it. No, I had 2 pieces.
What about the wing? Somebody eat the
I'll
wing.
eat the wing.
Eat the wing.
I'll eat the wing.
My buddy Ben, he's always like, dude, he goes, it's the funniest part of y'all show is how it goes from like no plates to all plates.
Charlie got the mic, he's dropping facts all day. Anthony's like, nah, I got the better parlay. Argue about the spread, it's a fierce debate. But when it comes to Wildcats, they align their fate. Blitz the bookies where the knowledge reigns. Charlie and Anthony bring the heat like flames. Talking parlays, breaking down the games. Kentucky Wildcats, they beat the same drums. Late nights, hustle deals on the line. Charlie Scassy's gonna make you shine. Anthony's heart where the numbers combine. Put your cash down, ride the incline. Blitz the bookies where the knowledge reigns. Charlie and Anthony bring the heat like flames. Talking parlays, breaking down the games. Kentucky Wildcats, they beat the same drums. From the tip off to the final play, they grind. Mike's on fire, bets on their minds. Arguing odds till the last rewind. Blue and white, it's a bond you'll find. The bookies where the knowledge reigns. Charlie and Anthony bring the heat like flames. Talking parlays, breaking down the games. Kentucky Wildcats, they beat the same drums. From the tip off to the final play, they grind. Mics on fire, bets on their minds. Arguing us till the last rewind. Blue and white, it's a bond you'll find. Bond you'll find. Blitz the bookies where the knowledge reigns. Charlie and Anthony bring the heat like flames. Talking parlays, breaking down the games. Kentucky Wildcats, they beat the same drums.